Greetings and welcome to the Inner Den. We are approaching the midpoint in February, the last hurrah in the snake energy. I think we got another week going on. And yeah, what's going on today? Christina, what do you got?
Well, I'm trying to not be a little bit offended today because I started my morning. I went into work and my receptionist, she's very sweet, but she had this bottle of multivitamins and she asked if I wanted them. And I was like, well, no, I don't really need them. And she's like, well, I bought them and I didn't realize. And she points to where it says 50 plus. Now I know like I am 51 and she's probably all of 42 or 43. So I'm thinking it wouldn't kill her, but like, oh, so I'm just trying to kind of to not be offended and just to be grateful and thank you for thinking of me. But I don't know, it just felt really weird.
It is
No,
weird. And that
no
50 mark,
kidding.
it's a thing,
That's like saying, "Granny, here's your,"
right?
Oh my gosh.
I remember a time when you Anne Marie, you were a little offended when we were talking about grandma, and you're like, I don't want to be grandma,
I don't feel like a grandma.
right?
Yeah. What does a grandma
Well,
feel like anyway?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think my mom was ready to be called grandma when we all had kids so young. So she
Yeah.
would have been like mid 40s,
My mom was 41.
41 and grandma.
Oh, wow. When she became a grandma?
Yeah, because my child is 30, my oldest.
Crazy, right? Crazy. You
Yeah.
guys are crazy.
Yeah, just goes to show the programming. Ooh, 50, you're old.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you got going on, Anne Marie?
One international student is getting rehomed on Saturday, and the other one is getting rehomed on the 24th. I made a
Wow.
decision that I had had enough. I feel really stressed out. I felt really stressed out, and it wasn't. The kids aren't bad. They're teenage boys. They're no different than any other teenage boys. I am just buried in all the things I need to do and to try and organize myself and thoughts. So that's the big one. So
Wow.
yeah, um, I probably should have written down all the things, but so that will be taken care of before the end of February. So I'm very excited about that. What that opens up is downstairs at my place. I have basically a two-bedroom apartment downstairs. I am working on getting some events happening. I saw a woman's brochure, which I said to my person, can you copy this in my colors and I'll change the functions? Because I don't know how to do stuff like that and I don't care. So I'm going to offer a scapulus, which is a resonant frequency machine. I'm going to offer. It has many programs, but I'm going to do, and this is for free, so I can get some testimonials on all the modalities that I can do. It's going to be a parasite detox. Then there's going to be. I have a ionic foot bath thingy. Me and my technology, right? So they're going to have that experience. So it'll be like 15 minutes with the scapulus machine, 15 minutes with the foot bath. Then I'm going to do ASMR, which is like, I just call it skin sensitivity. It's where you just sort of, maybe they like it, maybe they don't. I'll do that for 10 minutes. They'll be fully, and they'll be on the bed now. And then I'll do Reiki on them so I can practice my Reiki. So those are the 4 treatments. My goal is to be able to charge $200 for that service because it'll be about an hour and a half, 2 hours long in a regular environment. But in this free environment, getting testimonials, it'll be an hour 15 maybe. And what it's going to help me with is not only have some other income and to get some testimonials, but also to have some practice and gain some confidence in the things that I do. Yeah, what else is there? I'm sure there's more, but that's kind of
That's
a big
amazing.
one for now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited about the Feng Shui stuff, like clearing out. And it's funny, the boys were good at being busy in the evening. Now they're always fucking home for some reason. And I'm looking forward to, because I have a big, did I show you my downstairs, Angela? I think I did with all my food supply. Not that I'll get rid of that, but there's a lot of other stuff down there that can go. So I'm really excited about the cleansing part. And what I found was when I made the decision about the boys, I can't believe the anchor that I felt come off my back. Like, I didn't know that I was carrying something so heavy until, you don't know until you take it off. And it was like, wow, wow. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm really happy. Like, it feels like the shedding of the snake, although we had a midnight issue last night, which I can not go into. I still reacted as that was appropriate, but I was also aware that I was choosing to react and not respond. Pardon me. So I feel really excited about the future. I feel really
I think
excited.
it's fabulous that we went so deep into Feng Shui last time we were together, and the purge has been so real in your world that you even purged the humans.
I've even purged what?
The humans,
Yeah.
like, so
Yes.
you
And,
really took the homework and you went to town.
but I still haven't washed my front door. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah. How
So
did your
that,
week, Sean?
anyways, thank you.
I've been a little bit out of sorts, I would say. Just there's been, I guess, issues that have come up for me. These are internal issues, not external issues, specifically around really. I guess there's been a sense of underlying insecurity. Part of it has been really second guessing. I have purposely not went back and rewatched any of these because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time over analyzing any more than I already have. What I've said, is it being taken out of context? Was I authentic? I mean, I watched like one of the shorts and I'm like, well, I could see how someone else could take this, and because I like overgeneralized, right? And there's a lot of details I didn't give because I'm generalizing a topic. But then I'm like, well, if you were to come back and watch this, well, you can see how I've been like a little bit spinning out. And then there's also been this sense of like, I don't know if there's people in my world that I don't agree with, for instance, that I've been agreeing with for a long time. Am I okay in the like, am I still, do I still, I don't know, the word's not secure, but it's just like, is can a relationship withstand it, right? And there's no reason that I should think that it can't. It's just been an underlying frequency that I can feel that's been kind of just at my subconscious.
Wow, you're right on track.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things that come up when we dip our toe into visibility, dip our toe into thought leadership, and leading the way through the weeds. I can hear my business mentor in my head. Yeah, you're not going to be liked by everybody, and that's part of the medicine.
Yeah.
And
well, and there was this other AI spin out, and I'm like, well, we've like, and this is before we even were doing this. I've already done enough reels to give AI enough background to fake me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Enough of my words and everything. So it was just like a whole, overwhelmed by everything.
well, I think overwhelm is a perfect word of the week.
Yeah.
We're literally sitting in the last 2 weeks, like it's the 11th today, and the overturn is on the 17th. And what I find fascinating is most humans don't even pay attention, and we're like clocking our nervous system daily, right? And so there's this space that we are pushing ourselves to unravel and purge deeper than the average human because of our awareness. But that's a double-edged sword. Because we are so aware and trying to come into a place of integrity, when you're trying to unravel agreements and you have the new information and you know this is where the world's going, but your soul basket is still in the 3D world and it's matter and it's hard to change things because the programming is there. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing. And writing, vulnerability hangover doesn't just come from writing. That visibility hangover is a thing. And it's really good data to know that that's what you were processing this week, because, coming from high performance sport, we work through a lot of this in the gym ahead of time. And so it's hard to know when you're not working in a gym how people's nervous systems are handling the upgrades, right? Like, we would push our kids to go from, they have their bodysuits and a lot of them would wear like little tight shorts. And then some days when they came in, I'd be like, okay, well, today we're pretending that there's a competition. Take your shorts off. And they'd lose their minds. What do you mean I can't train without my shorts? Well, you can't compete without your shorts. You can't. But you can feel that in your body, right? There's exposure when you take your shorts off.
Yeah.
Right? And so now you got your shorts off, and now what happens if you fuck up without your shorts on? So every time that the bar gets raised, now we got a little bit more visibility. You're right on track. Those are exactly the things that are going to come up into your mind when now it's on YouTube. Now we're calling it a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But we've been doing the same thing for how many months? Months. And the only thing that's changed is we took our shorts off. Right? And it is.
Yeah.
And we also have to leave room for calibration. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I felt it too. So, and you guys held me through that after our, I know which one you're talking about. We all know which one we're talking about. You felt my contraction even at the end of doing that, right? And it's a work through. It's a work through. And some of the episodes are going to be hot and some of them are going to be not, depending on our experience in life. And it may be hot for somebody in one and not hot in another. So then again, now we're navigating 4 nervous systems and their sense of reality, and it's going to change. It's going to shift every week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Michonne, I feel like I've been like that for 3 months, honestly.
Yes, since Tulum.
And it's devastating because I'm not an insecure. Well, I can be insecure, but I've been very insecure, like crippled in insecurity the last few months. And I've got a book deadline coming up. Not super fast, but it's like, Laura, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't talk to anybody. I'm not in the right anything. So we have to trust that what we're going through is exactly what we're supposed to be going through, and give ourselves grace and compassion. And I certainly can give it to you because I feel like I've squeaked out like a pimple at the end. Just, I'm done. I've done that, right? So
yeah,
but it's
opposite.
yeah, it's brutally hard to be in that when it's not your thing.
Yeah.
But there's lots for us to shed. That's what I found is like, and I know I'll look back and go, wow, I really shed a lot in these last few months. And that's required. Hard
Well,
as it is, but it's required.
Well, and I think, yeah, it's also, like we've been talking about, like what are we taking forward, and we are also on the verge of this eclipse, and again, I'm going to speak more about what I know about my own chart and how it's interacting on my own chart, and you could go find out how it's going to interact with your own chart, what houses it's passing through, what it's going to activate for you. But interestingly enough, while I was doing some of that research, like last year's eclipses were the ones that were actually on my career, my 10-4 kind of MCIC lines, but now we're moving it back. This year they'll come into 9-3. Well, during my research, just kind of realizing, well, actually, you would think where it's at the career house and would be more of when you might come into alignment with your soul's purpose and kind of click with your north nodes where your soul is trying to get to. But actually, when it comes back into the 9-3 is when it's applied. It's like activated back here, but here when these themes are is when you're really going to step into it and apply it a lot more fully. And I guess I've kind of actually really felt this. It's hard to explain, and I can tell it's a portal, it's a gateway that needs to be passed through. But I haven't posted a bunch of things that I've kind of got ready, and they don't feel like they're supposed to go until after the 17th. And I don't know why, even though I want to start one of them that week. And it does feel more like stepping into more ownership of this role versus dabbling in this role because I'm still really dedicated over here full time. I don't know. That's just all to say. That's kind of what's been playing out for me. Like mine's turning. I got a lot of things I would like to offer. Also knowing that I've got to have the energetic capacity for all that, and then
Well, and I think this turning point right now is asking all of us to check in with our capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a reoccurring theme through these talks that we're doing about how do we want to show up. And today I was asking myself that same thing. I had a pretty energetic week, and what I learned was we can't be blowing both barrels at 100% all the time, because when life gives you something, then you won't have the capacity to do it. I can remember one of our teachers talking about only work at 70% capacity and give yourself that buffer. And
Excellent.
last week we had a family member pass, and I had to make a decision within a couple of hours whether I was going to leave and go and be with my family, do the funeral and all that stuff. And at first I was like, no, I don't have the capacity. And then after sleeping, I got up in the morning and went, I have to figure out the capacity. I need to be there. You listen to your bones. Right. And so, and witnessing and observing, because, I, like us all, while we're doing this work, our circles are real small. You guys are the only ones consistently that I talk to every week. Right. So, I have, when you're going through learning what your new identity is, when you go through a death that aggressively, that ruthlessly, you do have to pull in and go back into, and Michonne, this is also coming with you saying, I'm here, but I want to be here. What are your core beliefs? What is your niche? What is your Like on the way home yesterday from my parents, I did 7 hours of my mentor's podcast. 7 hours of him chirping in my ear about how to do your business properly. Here's the steps. Because as visionaries, as entrepreneurs, as these kind of, we're way up eagle medicine, flying about, oh, this would be great. But how do you bring it down? How do you drop it down and decide? And one of the things he said is exactly what you said, Michonne. You can't give a shit about people not liking you. And I laughed out loud as I'm driving through the mountains when he said a couple things, because he also has a Toltec background. Not our lineage, but he has other mentors and stuff. So, here's that business shaman, right? That's why I listen to him. And, he said, you've decided that you want to be front and center and have the visibility and be a thought leader, but you're scared to be out there to do it. He's like, that doesn't work. So you either have to choose to work through the blocks or choose a different path. But we know our bodies choose, right? Like we know in our bones what we were brought here on this earth to do. So it is finding the right people, finding the space that can hold you and build you and help push you through those obstacles, right? And so if I recapitulate the last 5 days, it is that we can't be working at burnout and expect to produce magic.
Well, I really appreciate you bringing that concept back to the kind of like the top, the concept of only working at 70%, because it actually leaves the void for the door to be opened for the spontaneity, the universe to bring the ease and the flow. However, I'm just like, okay, then when you're trying to do the two things at once, right? I'm still in this world and I'm still trying to get the other world going. It's how can you still create the 70% and still feel like you're moving forward on the other front?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and in your case, we if we go back a couple episodes, and when you had said that you had to make some agreements with your people that you weren't really thrilled about, and that it was going to take more time. And so when that happens, then you're definitely pushing into the 70%, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
I think I don't know that there was 70% before that moment. So
right.
Or I don't know if 30% was, yeah.
Right. And then, Laura has, with her groups that she's been talking to and sharing the information with us, now this is for entrepreneurship, not corporate, but what she's saying for your business, you should only be having to work 20 hours a week so that you have room for the other stuff. So they're saying it in their own language. So I also find it very interesting just doing the pattern recognition. Last week we talked about Feng Shui because we all need to clear stuff, all of us. And I'm not just saying the four of us, I mean humanity.
Oh yeah.
It needs to clear stuff, right?
Yeah.
But using us as the example, we talked about what we needed to clear out. And now today we're saying, we're supposed to be at 70% and having that clear space of 30%. These are not new topics, but we forget.
And it's also applied to our external physical reality, but also the internal landscape as well, and the nervous system piece too.
Yeah, if your nervous system is always firing at 100%, then I had a perfect analogy the other night. So Christina and I have started playing Warcraft again. Because all I'm doing is work, and I was starting to burn out and I needed something else. And that was something fun. Warcraft healed my brain when I had my brain injury in 2007. It literally saved my life.
Wow.
And so when we first logged in and we haven't played in what, almost a decade, Christina? How long has it been?
Yeah, like 2018. Well, yeah, pretty much since 2018. And even then, we hadn't really been playing for a couple of years. So,
Right.
yeah,
So we're
10
talking,
years
this
is
is a long time past time, long time ago, right? And so we log in and we're like, okay, well, the world still looks the same. And the music hit my nervous system. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a safe space. Like it just calmed my nervous system down right away. And so it doing that and just farting around and doing menial stuff that means absolutely nothing, the music calmed. And so you're looking for things that calm. And then it was kind of like meditative. You're just running around doing simple quests that mean absolutely nothing, but you're listening to the music, you're doing the hand movements that calm. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do, oh, hey, here's an idea. It was like as soon as I gave my physical soul basket something to do that it recognized, that it had done thousands and thousands of times, because I will completely admit that this was an addiction for me at one point. But my nervous system remembered that it was a safe space. And as soon as my nervous system felt safe, my creativity opened. I didn't see that coming, but it was a beautiful piece of gold that came out of it. So while we're feng shuiing our physical houses, you're absolutely right. Feng shuiing inside and figuring out what else calms my nervous system. And it doesn't always have to be holistic ways. That was the takeaway. So yeah, and we know that there's lots of opinions out there. And so when we share ours, it's not if somebody's going to agree with us. It's there's going to be people that don't, period.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. So
Absolutely.
how do we convince our nervous systems that it's going to be okay? That's when we find things like how Warcraft has helped. So finding ways to calm the nervous system down so that you can build that capacity. It's those ingredients. We're all trying to find magical soup that's going to feed us and nourish us.
Very true. That's a nice way of putting it. We're all looking for our ideal soup.
Exactly. Exactly. What ingredients do you need? And, Anne Marie's like, nope, don't need these ingredients.
Nope,
and
don't
out,
need
and out they
those.
go, right? And so you need to find and just to back up on that, I'm really proud of you, Anne Marie,
Thank you.
because I know that I know how much you love posting. I know how much you love that.
Yeah.
And within this new spiritual awakening that you're going through right now, for you to choose you even above that, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I didn't ask anyone for permission. That's
Exactly.
sort of the first time is it okay if I give them up? Or is it okay? Do you think I could? Sure, you can do that, Anne Marie, no problem. This is the first time I went, and I think it's because I saw it somewhere, do things in private.
Yeah.
Do what's right for you in private, and then they'll figure it out later or whatever. I was like, I can't do it. I just can't do it another minute.
Yeah.
And they breathe the wrong way, and now I'm losing my shit all the time. So it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
So, and you're right. I chose me, and that's a nice feeling too. Instead of, could I actually choose me? Can I make this decision myself without conferring with somebody that I should or shouldn't and weigh the pros and cons? No, it was clear. It was clear.
That actually reminds me, that was one of the first things, when Michonne reached out years ago, remember when we had that session, that was pretty much what you were saying to me. Should I do this? Do I need to wait for permission from these other people to move ahead with buying my house.
Actually, no, I think I reached out to, I thought after I was already here, because I was already free falling, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember talking about you don't need permission from anybody to do what you want to do, whatever the circumstances.
I do
was.
remember that conversation and
Can't
the
remember what it
pushing
was
it out of
around.
the nest, and I think it was in relationship to where I was trying to seek solace and comfort and protection.
Gotcha. Yeah, I couldn't remember the details. I just remember saying, you get to decide.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. You don't need to ask permission. You get to do what you want to do. And I think so listening. So it's James Wedmore that I follow. If anybody is looking for more of a spiritual type of business coach, James Wedmore, the Mind Your Business podcast, excellent. And so
Mind Your Business?
Mind Your Business podcast by James Wedmore.
Okay.
And so I got re-inspired on my way home yesterday. Usually there's some quiet time. There's usually lots of singing, and usually I put on a breathwork playlist, and those are kind of my go-tos when I drive. And leaving that space and saying goodbye to somebody I've known since I was born. It was my mother's best friend that passed. The timeline, the quantum, something happened. I came home different. There was new people, or new old people that I reconnected with that I haven't seen since I was 18. Like, that's a long time. That's a long time. And so when you're reminded of your roots in a different way, it changes you. There's something fundamentally that shifts. And I don't usually do funerals because, I say goodbye and do ritual my own way. I don't need that communal container, but this one felt necessary for me to be there. And I am so glad I went. And so, yeah, choosing to listen to that podcast and kind of here we are again. How do I want to show up? How do I want to present? What's my new offer going to be? And all these things that we all spin around all the time. But this time it was profound. And I feel like there's going to be a whole flipping switch going on here. But this is what we're supposed to be doing in this snake. Is like, I feel like I'm right on schedule too. And I'm very grateful for Sheila throwing in this wrench that we didn't see coming, in the fact that she took the full moon in Leo portal. I'm like, seriously. So she died on the full moon in Leo.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Literally on the full moon.
I know
on
too
the
many
Sunday.
Sheilas. That's all.
Yeah.
I was like,
I don't even know what to call her, because she had so many hats for me. And yeah, so there's also a little bit of honored that she chose the Leo portal, and it was so the veil was so thin, I could hear her laughing and singing, and I didn't cry. Like, there's no trauma or no grief around it, and that may change, because we know grief is its own human beast. It is, but through a passing, I've never felt so much love and compassion and gratitude, and there was no crash. The crash may come, because you don't ever want to say it's not going to come, because that's when it's going to come for you. But I'm just so gobsmacked and in awe of how much this opened me. It didn't collapse me. It opened me. It expanded me, and I allowed the love in. And so I'm experiencing death this week in a completely different way. And I much prefer this way. So
yes.
And then listening to James on the way home for 7 hours talk about identity, and it very grounding. So, and we all know with this work, we certainly need the grounding,
Mm-hmm.
because
Very
that's,
definitely.
it's great that we can, receive the information, but nothing happens if we don't learn how to transmute it into matter, bring it into this space and time, and serve humanity with it. But that's the mastery, is getting it from here, the heart, and out into the world, right? And Miss Shawn, I can, with you saying I'm in this world, but I want to be here. So yeah, it's how do we move it through this space, right? And so through this, I spent all day today re-going through all of James's stuff, because I have lots of his stuff, and I'm creating a new offer and a new program. So perhaps, depending on where we want to go and what we want to do, I can share some of that stuff too with you guys, and maybe inspire some spark and get you moving, Michonne.
And I'm in the same place as Michonne, right?
Yeah,
Having to work, and
exactly.
it feels like more than 100% of my energy is gone by Friday.
Right.
Yeah. I wake up on Saturday mornings and I'm depleted.
Right. Well, and that's how they keep us docile, right? We've been the whole society is programmed to keep us, because heaven forbid all women stand in their power. We know the world wouldn't look like that, like how it looks right now, if women were in their power, right? And that's what we're trying to do, is to build new systems, build the new earth, build the new programs, so that people can have a choice. Because a lot of people don't feel like they have a choice right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I shared a video with you of that I wanted, to share to people about my my book, right? And during COVID, that's when my entrepreneurial hat really went on. What can I do to make money? How can I gather people together? What can I do? How can I do this? And I had incredible, this was during lockdown. I hosted workshops. I snuck people into my house. I fed them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We started out with self-love and ended with twerking lessons. And I think I had 10 people in my house. I videotaped all of the sessions so that I still have them. So I don't know. That was like a launch for me. And then when we were allowed to when you were allowed to get together, that's when I started hosting wellness events. People need to know that there's alternatives, because being impaled on your arm is not health to me. So yeah. So I had all these events with them. I had people that booked every single event, maybe missed 2 out of the 20 that I had, or 25. But they paid for, as a vendor, for every single one. Okay, the next one is this day, and there's money. It's like, wow. So
yeah, and so how do you tap into that, Anne Marie, and bring that wisdom forward? Because we're not in a space where you haven't done this before. So why's the freeze?
Yeah.
Because you've already done it.
Yeah, I've clearly already done it. Yeah. So I know I kept saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. But I was in that space, right? I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't feel like myself.
And that's what it is. It's not you don't know what you're doing. It comes back to that same question. How do I want to show up?
Yeah.
And you can't create from a space of not knowing how you want to show up. Who are you at your core?
And doubting everything you do.
Well, and that is the 5th agreement. So understand that that is part of the process, and you have to go through that.
Oh, woohoo.
No one says it was going to be easy. And that, because when you have the cycles, not all of them are light. We house
Yeah.
dark and light. And
Yeah.
when we start facing those shadowy aspects of ourselves and say, how do I want to show up? I can remember you, Anne Marie, saying, I want to be kind. I want to bring kindness because you're fierce. Your warrior is very strong. But as soon as you say, I want to be kind, every time you go to say something, you're going to filter and say, am I being kind? It's going to change you as a human.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
And
or
you're
nice?
still, huh?
Kind or nice?
Exactly. Because even that, there's different, right? And so the questioning comes.
Yeah.
The questioning comes, and then that shakes your identity. And then your body says, oh, okay, well, now I have to remake my book of law. What do I believe? And then every single thing that comes in, you're questioning. You know how much energy that takes? It's why we're
All
so
of
tired.
it. That takes all
Why
of
we're
your
so
energy.
tired.
Yeah. And
And then you
now
spin.
looking back, that's exactly what it was. Analyzing everything, like, what do? I don't know how to analyzing every step. No wonder I was checked out most of the time. It's like, oh my God, I don't know who I am. I don't know how to restore myself. I don't know how to whatever. Yeah.
Well, and then on top of that, so now you're spinning, you don't know who you are, right? And after so we've all gone through this, right? We all
Yeah.
know that feeling.
Yeah.
And so now you're in this, oh my God, I don't know who I am. I'm questioning everything. I'm exhausted. And now you take on this high end program. Now you need to learn LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You're already blown out. And now somebody's saying, let's put it on the internet. Well, you can't.
Yeah. That's so on a back burner. It's not even funny.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Right. We need to, and this is, and I think why it's so clear for me now, because I literally just listened to James for 7 hours straight yesterday, like no breaks, 7 hours. It was like the master class on steroids. But you know what? I feel like it cleared my brain because like I know the grounding piece is the action piece. We know that warrior is action. We know that. And so yes, we need it. But when we're all so worried about coming to our heart, we need to understand the warrior can come through the heart too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's clarity in that. And so I spent 3 hours today working on niche. You can't move forward without your niche. But if you don't have that anchor and you don't know that's where you have to start, you have to find yourself on your map first. He does map work too, Michonne, just like what we learned, but he has different language for teaching the map. He has business language for the map. And so I think why it was so easy for me to follow 7 hours, because we have the same structural foundation of spiritual leadership. And now he's translating it through a business lens. And it was very easy for me to track once he even dropped, oh, this is the second attention. But if nobody would know what the second attention means, nobody would have caught it. But I certainly caught it. So I feel like James Feng Shui'd my brain.
Shook it up like a snow globe.
I totally feel like he Feng Shui'd my brain yesterday. I came home a different human and lit up and inspired and excited to create what I'm creating right now. And I'll have more information on that next week. But listening to, yesterday changed the game for me.
Mm-hmm.
New video game installed.
Yeah.
And so I think what's coming now, it's like, if what we're still doing isn't working, then you have to change something. We know that. You can't repeating the same thing and expecting different results is insanity. So the people that you're following, the people that you're listening to, we do it because it's habit. How do you bring in new energy?
Who do you follow that actually has 30% available energy? I'm asking this truly because we're talking about creating new businesses and being in hustle mode and working our asses off to try and like get somewhere, right? And so if I were to have 30% availability to me, my first reaction is going to be to fill that up, right the fuck up, because there is absolutely no time. If I've got 30%, it's like if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Like it's that attitude, right? Like if I got 30% availability, I got time to spend hustling on a business or making the place feel like more like a home, or you know what I mean? And again,
It's a mindset shift. You're
yeah,
not wrong.
Like and for me, like I've been like revisiting human design topics again because as a projector, I specifically do not have enough energy and I absorb other people's crap, and I'm not as good at knowing like when it's mine, right? So or what's mine and what's not. So yeah, just like so I'm asking, do you have people that you follow that have 30% availability and talk about that?
I would say, well, it was actually Heather Ash that told me that, and it was at the very first gathering of the shamans. I didn't even know she existed. I was there for Miguel, and when I went to her topic, I actually was a couple of minutes late, and I came running in, and that was the first thing that I wrote down in my book, and that's how she hooked me, because I said exactly the same thing you just said, as if that's not real. Who does that?
Well, and it's literally a created boundary,
right? Exactly.
Because I've noticed, and I know it's not the person, it's me being asked by the universe to show up stronger for myself. But if I draw a boundary like I can't do anymore, I swear to God, the person I tell is like, I'm pretty sure she said add 10 more things, and she
I'm
can
in that
handle
world.
it. Like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like,
yeah.
And then you get to a place where you're either gonna, because it's almost like they're pushing to a snap point, right? And again, like I said, I know it's not the people. Like I know it's me not in reinforcing the boundary, but yeah, it's because I've obviously been around Ash, I've seen her, so yeah, I would love to know what another example just that's not the one I'm familiar with.
I would say James does.
Yeah,
I would say James does, and on the last one that I listened to, he talked about rest. He did talk about rest. He said, when people launch their next item or whatever they're doing, they do a launch. There's so many people out in the world that say, now you have to have rest. Make sure you rest. Make sure you do the self-care. And he said, if your launch is burning you out, you're doing it wrong. So I'm in an experiment right now because he has said, and so many people on the podcast, and if you choose to listen to it, then you'll hear it as well. He has lots of testimonials. There's lots of people that are making millions of dollars because of his process. And he said, if you do the launch and it doesn't work, he's like, the launch isn't broken. There's a piece inside it. He's like, there's always ways to do it. And he's like, if you're passionate and if you've narrowed it down right to what your niche is, it shouldn't drain you. If you are completely drained, it's misalignment. So there's energetics involved in it as well. And yeah, so, and we've all been taught to go against our own boundaries and say, when is enough? We've trained our bodies. So like, if you're talking about work, because I'm assuming that was a work thing, because I know it happens to Christina at work as well. Could you, instead of, so if the 70% is at work, let's just do it work-wise, could you give 60% and leave a 10% buffer? So like start saying no sooner.
It's almost like and it's going to be an internal battle with myself. And I know this has to do with where I feel valued, or how, you know what I'm saying? How do I bring value to others, right? And if this is the way, then it becomes a battle of, it's a constant inner conversation of, no, they're not going to think less of you because you do less, right? Can you not think less of yourself because you do less, right? Your value is not reliant on how much outward production you can do, and it really is. We talk about creating new neural pathways and all of the things, right? But that again is one of the massive ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can remember when I first started my massage business, and I had an NHL retired hockey player coming to see me, and he referred a coach who was a world class coach and coached over in Europe Olympic teams, like a guy that's up there and used to play hockey. And after he came once, and after the massage, he went to get off the table, and he looked me deadpan in the face. He's like, "You absolutely are not charging enough.
You absolutely what?
Are not charging enough."
Oh, okay.
And I've had lots of people tell me that. But for some reason, having him tell me that shifted my perception of myself. And so here I thought I wasn't worthy of healing this human. And he was like, "Oh my God, you are not charging enough. You are very good at what you do." There was no, and so I think that's what it is. Like, you don't have to overgive to still feel the worth. When you're at mastery, people are going to recognize that mastery. And I think what switched for me is that if they're not going to respect you in your mastery, why are you there?
Yeah.
That's what
But
I'd
yeah,
ask you.
but also like what you were saying there, if you don't see your value, most people won't either.
Exactly. They're going to
And
meet you at your
yeah, I
perception.
mean, we did that too, where like our programs are mostly free, but like when we offer summer camps for kids and stuff like that, when they were free, more than half wouldn't show up. If we charge $5 for a week, they will be there because they've made an investment, because now you've attached a value and they see value in it. So, the same thing with us. We can't undervalue ourselves if we expect other people to value us and what we do.
And it does take years. You're right. It does take years to challenge that agreement. I remember when Christina first got this job in the first couple of years, like, yeah, she's tired now, but you should have seen her the first couple of years. Like, it was bad. And these were the conversations that we had. Stop giving everything because they're not paying you enough to give everything. Now, I know in your job, clearly the financial stake, you're probably getting paid a ton more, but you're still worth more than what they're paying you because of how much you're giving. Like, it has to be equal energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has to be equal energy.
Yeah.
And
But
I
you have
think
to
it's
believe it.
very unlikely to find that in a job.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I try not, and it's a very conscious thing for me not to bring this attitude into my other work. Specifically, like for one of the reasons stuff isn't posted right now is because I'm not cracking a whip on myself, and I really try to create the space for flow, because when I was trying to force it a lot more, then it becomes like you're saying, it's a chore, and I don't want it to be a chore.
And that energy, people won't buy it. right? That's the other
Yeah.
thing that James really talks about, that
Yeah.
if it's aligned, there's energy flow and you're excited about it, and those are the ones that are going to go when you're passionate about it and you're excited to share and you've loved what you've created. One of the biggest takeaways was, if you don't love your funnel, nobody else is going to love it either. You have to love it first, right? And in the beginning, when we're dabbling, we're like, oh, let's try this, let's try this. And he uses the same analogy. You just can't throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks and go with that. That passion has to come from within. And then you get, and that's why with Anne Marie, I was so confused as why you didn't want to be so passionate about sharing, come do this book with me, because every time you talk to me about it, I hear and feel the passion. But when you're not using me as a mirror and you go to look at your screen to record your video, the passion's not there.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Right. And so, how can we bring that passion out and own our brilliance? Because you are brilliant. We all know this inside,
Yeah.
you
Well, and
know.
I've even said to you, I don't like this because she's reading from something. I don't like it. So it's the
You can
same with
feel
me,
the
but
inauthenticity.
I was trying to get the information in. And do you not know how many times I tried to do that, trying to get the information in? And then I finally put all my notes down and I went into my bedroom and I held up a pillow because as soon as I put my phone up, the glare from the windows and my blinds are remote control and I'm not putting another battery in until I leave. So my windows are only so far down. So I'm holding a pillow behind my phone and I still had trouble trying to figure. And then I walked away and went, what am I trying to say? Stop trying to plan what you're trying to
Yeah.
say. Just say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it was my own, kick in the ass. Stop faking it. Go
Yeah.
from the heart.
Yeah. And what is the title of your book?
The Simple Spiritual Guide to Clean Living. Practices for Healing, Growth, and Transformation.
And what are you so excited about it?
I know what you're doing. I'm excited because it's fun. This is the way life's going to be in the future. We're not going to be impaled in the arm going forward. It's just not going to happen that way. We're going to have traditional Chinese medicine. We're going to have tuning forks. Like I got my list, so I'm looking at my list. Psychic readings, intuitive healings. We're going to have all that. And not have, when we went to I forgot to mention that my student on Monday had to go to the hospital here, and here it's like a 4 or 5 hour excursion. And he was given basically an antibiotic for his problem. And anyways, I'm like, why wouldn't you just drink water and wait a few days and if you have pain, anyways, whatever. So I'm very against the medical system, and I didn't realize how much until COVID. But because I look at stuff even back like I'm working on the introduction to my book, and really it's like 30 years ago is when I started looking at clean living. So yeah, I'm passionate. There's better things to do than to put shit in your body. And it's this shit and this shit and this shit. So you have to really watch what you're doing. It's all if you're putting shit in one of them, it's still shit. So
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see
And
my
you're
passion.
looking for 24 more authors to talk about how not to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty passionate about the pandemic, so I don't want to talk about that because I think I'll just ruffle feathers more than anything. But I'm working on, my introduction and and a lot is coming up for me that is good. Like, oh, I could talk about this and I could talk about this. So I'm exhausted today because I think I had 3 hours sleep. But first thing in the morning tomorrow morning, I am going to do my little video and talk about, and then it's just going to go on social media, all of it, the 3 platforms. I don't think X gives a shit about my book, but yeah.
Well, I just think it's really awesome that last week we were talking about Feng Shui, and there just seems to be so much movement this week with everybody
Oh
cleaning
yeah.
out cleaning out their pieces and their resistance. And yeah, it's good. So do we want to think about something that we want to dream on this week? Or do we want to just flow as it is the last week of shedding? What are you thinking? Shall we just continue with the Feng Shui? Because
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't even have because of what happened in my world and having to leave the next day after we did our call. I haven't had a chance to do any of the physical feng shuiing in my house because I physically haven't been in my house. I just got home last night.
The other thing I have on my list is dry brushing. I keep looking for a dry brush, and I think Michonne said go to the pet store and get a soft
It's a
dog brush.
Martha. It's not very soft. It's more like a harder bristle brush, but it's like it's shaped the size of the palm and it has your strap. It's a Martha Stewart
Oh, okay.
doggy brush.
I'm really keen to do that because that also affects your lymph system,
It
right?
feels so good.
Feels so
Yeah.
good. Well,
Well, and
human
that's why
touch
I
in
want
general.
to do the ASMR on people is just to stimulate,
Yeah.
like, can you imagine how good that feels?
Well, and that's how we can take care of ourselves. We expect other people to touch us, but why can't we give ourselves the hugs and give ourselves the scratchies, and we can also take care of our bodies.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
All right, well, let's lean more into physical self-care and the feng shui, and we'll see how
Let's
we
just see
all
what
are.
happens this week with the last week and just see what organically gets shed.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
Christina's coming to my
Yeah.
house next week, so
On Sunday.
on Sunday. Yeah,
Yay.
so I'm sure we'll have lots to share next Wednesday.
I'm sure. And
The
we can all
young
hold space for Michonne too, because I know you held space for me, because that's really the only way you get through these tough patches. So I'm just gonna hold space for you, Michonne.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
I will try and join y'all next Wednesday. I'm gonna actually be in Seattle, so
That's
for
pretty
work.
close. Kind of.
Close. Hey, you're close.
I'll be on your time frame, which means 5:30 is like the close of the workday. So it really depends on what happens at the work site that day.
Yeah.
But I will try and join you. And if
Nice.
not, we'll catch you on the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, ladies.
Sounds good,
Sounds
loves.
to see you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Yep.